Hey, soul rights. Wanted to scoot the subject over just a little bit. I love that we're getting some Eucharistic engagement, even if we are not all of us meeting at the same Eucharistic table just yet. I like that we're talking about it. I think that's a good thing. And for the most part, everybody's playing really nice in the sandbox. We might be going to different houses at the end of the day, but I feel like we're meeting on a good playground. I like that. So if you'll permit me, I'm sure we'll return to this Lambda Eucharist idea, but I would like to move on to what really should take centrality in our thoughts. If we talk about our Lord for a little bit, the God-man, the God-emperor, Yeshua, Elohim, Jesus Christ. I think when we're speaking about him, it's like that passage from Deuteronomy, when you're meditating on these things, when you wake up in the morning, when you're walking down the road, when you're sitting down to eat, Jesus should be inhabiting all those thoughts, or St. Patrick's breastplate, above us, behind us, beneath us, in mouth of friend and stranger, times of danger, the whole business. We were supposed to be baptized in a comprehensive, God-bathed world where Jesus is just permeating everything. And while he's doing that, I think it should also strain our imaginations as much as it's blessing them, because I believe that Jesus is the ultimate iconoclast. And I don't use that language as offensive to cultures of icons. I think that's a beautiful display. What I mean to say is he's so big. His expression of humanity and the deity in him was so magnanimous. We should always, all of us together, be using every bit of think tank energy we have to paint that portrait, to cast the vision of his face before creation. And so ways that I play with that when I try to imagine what he looked like, how he carried himself, all that, I think about his being just as capable of walking upon a violent sea and just calming all of it, just strolling out like a cowboy. As much as he had that constitution, he had the same constitution to sleep in the middle of the tempest and to not calm any of it. While the boat's getting wrecked, he's cashed, just straight up sleeping. Calm in the seas, sleeping in the storm, didn't matter. He was also the same kind of man. He could make a prince feel powerless, and he would make a prostitute feel like a princess. That's a potent guy. That's a really gentle man too. And trying to put that on the same face. What does he look like before the tyrannical emperor? What does he look like when he's sitting with the woman at the well? This is the same kind of guy that would empty a courtyard full of men because they were taking advantage of God's place. He's also the same man that stopped in his tracks because he wanted to just hang out with the kids. Exceedingly gentle in one manifestation, utterly violent in another. What did his games look like when he played with the children? And what did his fight stance look like when he was beating up the money changers? That is a sturdy man. That's the kind of man that I want to apprentice to. When I grow up, I want to be like that. I'm going to empty out my entire life chasing after that vision of masculinity, that expression of humanity. But what better example do I have than those expressions of humanity? Jesus is the ultimate image, and in that he's the ultimate iconoclast. And so I would love it if we could scoot our conversation in that direction, because that's what it means to be a soul right. We are people building up ourselves, building up our communities, looking after building out the long-term, millennia-stretching march of the church throughout the ages, and we want to enter into that experience of God together. That's the craftsmanship that we're about. Those are the kind of artisans we're going to be. So I'd love it if you join in that conversation. Remember to tip your cameraman.
That's me.
That's him. Ajax representing. Love you guys. Thanks for joining the group. I like where this is going. Soul rights. We do be doing it.